This is Mac OS Ken.
Srouji says he's not going anywhere. ICEBlock news heats up. And Apple TV picks up 14 Golden Globe nominations. It is Tuesday, the 9th of December, 2025. When did that happen? I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Don't worry over those Bloomberg rumors about Apple Senior VP Hardware Technologies Johnny Srouji leaving the Cupertino company. That is the advice of Johnny Srouji by way of Bloomberg, funny enough. The story over the weekend from Bloomberg had Srouji telling Apple CEO Tim Cook that he was seriously considering leaving in the near future. Scuttlebutt had the hardware head saying he wants to join another company if he leaves Apple. Now it seems a big plate of never mind is in order. Mac Rumor says Bloomberg has seen and posted an internal memo from Srouji to his team. Short. The memo says, I know you've been reading all kinds of rumors and speculations about my future at Apple, and I feel that you need to hear from me directly. I am proud of the amazing technologies we all build across displays, cameras, sensors, silicon, batteries, and a very wide set of technologies across all of Apple's products. Together we enable the best products in the world. I love my team, and I love my job at Apple, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Remember that time the Justice Department called Apple and said, hey, take government accountability apps like ICEBlock off the App Store, and Apple said, make me? I'm kidding. Apple said, how high? Apparently not really understanding how that phrase works. Anyway, ICEBlock, an app that told people where immigration and customs enforcement activity was happening in real time, was purged from both Apple's App Store and the Google Play Store. This after Attorney General Pam Bondi demanded its removal from Apple's App Store. Now in a move that seems down the block tough, one congressional committee wants to know what Apple and Google are going to do to keep such apps out of their respective app stores. Apple Insider ran a piece over the weekend that had the House Committee on Homeland Security sending letters to the CEOs of both companies requesting detail about the ways the companies are preventing more ICEBlock-style apps from appearing in their respective app storefronts. There is a demand for more detail about what each firm is doing to crack down on the apps used to monitor the movements of immigration officers. Citing a letter seen by Reuters, lawmakers indicate that the apps risk jeopardizing the safety of Department of Homeland Security personnel. The app should not be used to target officers or to obstruct law enforcement, the committee added. A briefing has been requested by the committee by the 12th of December, according to Apple Insider. The thing is, the developer behind ICEBlock would seem to agree that apps like his should not be used to target officers or to obstruct law enforcement. He also thinks his app should be allowed back into the respective app stores, so he's brought suit against Uncle Sam. Engadget ran a piece Monday that had the ICEBlock developer suing the federal government, arguing that unlawful threats made by Trump administration officials led to the app's removal from app stores. The piece says the suit is centered around free speech violations and accuses the administration of coercing Apple into taking down the app in October. While Apple seems to be at the heart of the case, Engadget points out that Google started pulling such apps about the same time Apple did. Fundamentally, says the suit, ICEBlock neither enables nor encourages confrontation. It simply delivers time-limited location information to help users stay aware of their surroundings in a responsible and non-violent way. The suit seeks a declaration that the administration's actions were coercing, threatening, or that demanding that Apple stop distributing the app via the App Store violate the developer's First Amendment right to free speech. A declaration that the administration's threats to criminally investigate and or prosecute the developer for his role in developing, distributing, and promoting the app violates his First Amendment right to free speech, injunctions against further coercive or threatening behavior against Apple and the developer, and court costs, attorney fees, and any other relief as the court deems just and proper. Apple does not seem to have offered comment on the suit. Can't help thinking a few years ago probably would have been Apple attorneys bringing it. Either way, it's been brought in. Remember last week when India was going to make manufacturers install what it said was a cybersecurity app on every smartphone in the country? Then privacy and security people pushed back, citing government overreach with a side of increased security risk. And India changed its mind. A piece from Engadget says the country may be reaching or overreaching again. Late last week, the site ran a piece that had India's telecoms regulators considering a plan to force smartphone makers to leave devices' location services on at all times with no way to turn them off. Additionally, the report says telecom regulators want smartphone makers to disable notifications that alert users when their carriers have accessed their location. Regulators were supposed to meet with manufacturers last Friday, though that meeting was reportedly delayed. No word on when they will meet, though. Again, time gets wibbly-wobbly with this story. Despite having not had their meeting yet, Engadget says Apple, Google, and Samsung are said to oppose the move and have urged the Modi government to reject it. Last quarter was a big quarter for iPhone 16 in particular. New numbers from Counterpoint Research say Apple's mid-range consumer phone was the number one smartphone on the planet in the third quarter, with a 4% global market share. To be clear, it was iPhone 16 that took 4%. Apple had 5 of the world's top 10 smartphones last quarter, with iPhone 16 followed by iPhone 16 Pro in second, iPhone 16 Pro Max in third, iPhone 16e in fourth, and iPhone 17 Pro Max coming in at number 10. Places 5 through 9 were taken by models in Samsung's Galaxy A series by Counterpoint's count. Facts of note from the list: the top 10 smartphones globally last quarter came from just those 2 companies, while 4 of the iPhones on the list were premium phones. That's phones with a wholesale price of $600 or more. None of the Samsung phones on the top 10 were in that range. And finally, mad props to iPhone 17 Pro Max for being one of the top 10 smartphones last quarter. Kind of an impressive feat considering it was only out for 2 weeks of the quarter's 12. From the people who brought you a second release candidate for tvOS 26.2, 9 to 5 Mac says Apple has done it again, this time for iOS. Apple on Monday shipped a second release candidate of iOS 26.2 for developers and public beta testers, according to the site. The whole mass of blank OS 26.2 updates is still expected by most sometime this week. Apple Fitness Plus is going bigger. Cult of Mac says the Cupertino company's subscription workout service is expanding to 28 new markets around the world. New regions include Chile, Hong Kong, India, the Netherlands, Singapore, Taiwan, and more. The service will go live in those countries on the 15th of December. Additionally, a rollout is planned for Japan in early 2026. They're not personalizing the service for each region exactly. In a press release Monday, Apple said hundreds of Fitness Plus workouts and meditations will be digitally dubbed with a generated voice in Spanish, German, and Japanese, with more dubbed episodes added every week. Surprising? No. Disappointing? Well, of all the disappointments in today's workaday world, I would say this one is on the list, though I wouldn't put it high on the list. And finally today, it'll be Apple v. Apple v. Apple at January's Golden Globe Awards. Apple Insider says Apple TV has picked up 14 nominations for the January awards event. The big knockdown dragout will be in the category Best Television Series Drama. That's where we find The Diplomat, The Pit, and The White Lotus facing off against Severance, Slow Horses, and Pluribus. If you've lost count, that is 50% of the top dramas coming compliments of Apple TV. It's not Apple v. Apple in the Best Television Series, Musical, or Comedy category. Apple's one entry there is The Studio. A couple of the Cupertino streamers' actresses face off in the Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Series Drama category. That'll see Britt Lauer of Severance competing against Pluribus star Ray Seahorn. Similarly, Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Television Series Drama has one Apple star battling another. Adam Scott of Severance goes toe-to-toe with Slow Horses lead Gary Oldman. Apple goes it alone again in the Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Television Series, Musical, or Comedy category. That's got Seth Rogen up for The Studio. The same show brings Catherine O'Hara a nomination for Best Female Actor in a Supporting Role on Television. Over in the Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role on Television, it is once again an apples-to-apples fight. That'll feature Billy Crudup of The Morning Show trying to nab that award for, I think, a third time. Pretty sure I remember that right. Anyway, he's going up against Tramell Tillman of Severance. Rounding out the nominations, F1 The Movie nabbed Apple 2 nominations on the big screen side. They include a Best Original Score nom for Hans Zimmer and the nomination for the movie itself for cinematic and box office achievement. The full list of nominations is available on the Golden Globe site. The ceremony will be held on Sunday, the 11th of January. It'll be broadcast on CBS affiliates and streamed on Paramount+. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
It's still sunny.